Real reason why Brock Lesnar destroyed Cody Rhodes on WWE Raw. The best and worst of Raw after WrestleMania 39. Triple H and WWE forced to cancel a major debut on the Raw after WrestleMania 39. Wrestling fans furious after WWE Raw did not acknowledge legendary Hall of Famer who passed away earlier today. Roman Reigns questions Bloodline Paul Heyman's loyalty. Why Brock Lesnar cursed and made obscene gesture at the camera before Raw went off the air. Let's jump right into it. The best and worst of Raw after WrestleMania 39. Welcome to the special edition of the best and worst of the Raw after WrestleMania 39. This officially concludes WrestleMania week, and in what was supposed to be the most important Raw of the year, a whole lot of nothing happened. The show itself had a lot going on, but the issue was the meaning behind it. We had a total of one return, and even that was highly predictable, albeit one of the better parts of the show. Some of the highlights we won't mention are Bad Bunny being attacked and hospitalized by the Judgment Day's Damian Priest after he attacked Dominic Mysterio. Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair had an interesting confrontation with Rhea Ripley, and Bobby Lashley began a storyline with Bronson Reed. Triple H's opening segment also meant very little, which can, unfortunately, sum up what was a rather disappointing episode. Either way, we still want to focus more on the ups and the downs, and this is what the best and worst of the post-WrestleMania episode brought. Number 3. Best, Matt Riddle's return to Raw. Matt Riddle made a predictable return to WWE TV. He hadn't appeared at all in 2023 as he was in rehab, and although he was done a while back, WWE likely decided that it was better to bring him with a fresh start post-WrestleMania. It was one of the better segments of the show as The Miz kept mentioning the word surprise when recalling his trainwreck matches at WrestleMania 39. Next week, Matt Riddle will face The Miz, and in a stat that might shock you, he hasn't won a televised match since late November 2022. His last win was in December in a live event, but next week's match against The Miz will most likely mark his first television win in over 4 months. Number 2. Worst, Seth Rollins' random and meaningless appearance. We fail to understand what the point of Seth Rollins' appearance on Raw this week was. The 4-time world champion was understandably elated after his win over Logan Paul and said the party was out in the arena where the fans were. He came, the fans had a sing-along, and that was it. It felt like a completely pointless appearance, especially in an episode where intriguing post-WrestleMania feuds begin. Number 2. Best, the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn vs. Street Profits match. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are now the undisputed tag team champions, and as a result, Roman Reigns sent the Usos away from Raw. The Street Profits, who won the showcase match at WrestleMania, stepped up to face the new champions and lost after a valiant effort. It was an excellent way to kickstart the tag team title reign, and we are interested to see how WWE handles this. Number 1. Worst, no meaning behind the women's showcase match at WrestleMania. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defeated Damage Control's Io Sky and Dakota Kai on Raw to earn a tag team title shot against champions Becky Lynch and Lita. There was no mention made of Bayley, which was a bit odd. However, Morgan and Rodriguez's win makes no sense unless Ronda Rousey or Shayna Baszler suffered an injury. The showcase match at WrestleMania 39 was completely pointless otherwise. Number 1. Best, the major swerve with Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes confronted Roman Reigns and demanded a rematch that he was denied. The main event of Raw was already booked, with Rhodes and a mystery partner teaming up to face Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. It was Brock Lesnar who surprisingly stepped up. He hasn't wrestled a match in Raw for 21 years now, and it was a huge twist that he would be competing in a match on live TV. So, of course, it made sense when the bell never rang. Instead, Brock Lesnar assaulted Cody Rhodes while a puzzled Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa walked away with Paul Heyman. This left Lesnar to continue a brutal assault lasting over 7 minutes. It was a clear-cut heel turn, and it looks like we'll get Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar, presumably at WWE Backlash. It's an exciting direction, especially if WWE is still building up Cody to face Roman Reigns at SummerSlam 2023. Triple H and WWE forced to cancel a major debut on the Raw after WrestleMania 39. While it's not known if Triple H fully booked the Raw after WrestleMania 39, the consensus seems to be that it was an average episode at best, let alone the most important Raw of the year. This was partly due to the lack of surprises, returns, and debuts, a staple of post-WrestleMania episodes. However, WWE and Triple H may have been forced to nix a major debut. That major debut would have been 2-time NXT champion Braun Breaker. At NXT Stand and Deliver, one night before WrestleMania 39, his 361-day run as NXT champion ended at the hands of Carmelo Hayes. It marked a crucial passing of the torch moment and a clear-cut sign that Breaker was main roster bound. However, he didn't end up debuting on Raw. What was the reason behind it? Although this is purely speculation, it's possible that Rick Steiner's controversial comments against transgender wrestler Jaisal Shaw at WrestleCon led to Triple H and WWE canceling Breaker's debut. In case you're unaware, WWE Hall of Famer Rick Steiner is the father of Braun Breaker. He was recently put under fire by the entire wrestling community after Jaisal Shaw revealed that he made discriminatory comments against her in a public setting. This is where things can be tricky. Although many may not realize it, WWE is fully aware of what is happening in the wrestling world outside and all the controversies that happen. It seems objectively unfair that Braun Breaker would have to suffer because of something completely unrelated to him, but there is likely a very different point of view for Triple H and WWE. The sale of WWE just happened, and there will be a need for zero bad PR during this time. Although anybody reasonable enough will likely not want to draw the connection between Breaker and his father's comments, WWE may have wanted to avoid the conversation of the Rick Steiner controversy being brought up. Wrestling fans furious after WWE Raw did not acknowledge legendary Hall of Famer who passed away earlier today. This week's episode of WWE Raw saw quite a severe reception from wrestling fans. They were disappointed with the overall show and didn't like the way the show after WrestleMania was being booked. However, there was one thing that fans thought WWE needed to do, and that was to acknowledge the passing of Bushwhacker Butch. The WWE Hall of Famer passed away earlier today at the age of 78. He had flown into Los Angeles from New Zealand to attend WrestleCon with his tag team partner and fellow Hall of Famer, Bushwhacker Luke. After this, he was suddenly hospitalized due to issues with his meds. While Luke asked for fan support and prayers in his recent interview with Sportskeeda, ultimately, Butch tragically passed away. The Legends were one of the biggest fan-favorite tag teams in WWE at a time when the company was expanding its territory nationally in the 80s. They were loved wherever they went and were always a big part of the card. Naturally, fans expected tributes to be paid to the Hall of Famer on the show after WrestleMania. This didn't happen, and as a result, wrestling fans started calling the company out on Twitter for not acknowledging him on Raw. One fan even thought that some stars might pay tribute to him by doing the famous Bushwhacker walk on Raw. Hopefully, WWE will acknowledge the tragedy on WWE NXT and SmackDown and pay tribute to the wrestling legend. Roman Reigns questions Bloodline Paul Heyman's loyalty. Roman Reigns seemed to question his special counsel Paul Heyman's loyalty after Brock Lesnar paid an unpleasant visit on WWE Raw. The Beast Incarnate came to Cody Rhodes' support as the latter demanded a WrestleMania rematch against Reigns. Initially, Heyman refused to comply to the rematch request as per the orders of the Tribal Chief. However, the wise man accepted Rhodes' offer for a tag team match and told him to find a partner of choice, but the person should have fought at WrestleMania 39 and can also never challenge Reigns for the world title. Before anyone could answer, Brock Lesnar came into the ring and decided to team up with Rhodes, which angered the champion. The Bloodline leader was later seen backstage with Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa. Reigns asked Heyman if he knew Brock would be on the red brand. Heyman said no, and continued to detail how the Tribal Chief saved him from Lesnar's servitude. Reigns initially seemed unsure of himself but claimed he would smash the Beast Incarnate. He turned to the enforcer of the Bloodline and told him to show Cody Rhodes, who wasn't ready. Before Heyman was a special counsel to Reigns, he advocated for the Beast Incarnate. Last year, there was an incident where Heyman lied to Reigns about Lesnar's whereabouts and appearance in the building during an episode of SmackDown. Hence, on Monday Night Raw's latest edition, Reigns suspected Paul Heyman's allegiance towards him. However, all of Roman Reigns' doubts were possibly gone after Lesnar turned on Cody Rhodes before the main event could even take place. What ensued was a brutal attack on the American Nightmare at the hands of Brock Lesnar. It remains to be seen how things will pan out in the coming weeks. Do you think Heyman would turn his back on Roman Reigns anytime soon? Sound off in the comments section below. Why Brock Lesnar cursed and made obscene gesture at the camera before Raw went off the air. Brock Lesnar was more than a little upset with the ending of WWE Raw after what seemed to be a botch. Brock Lesnar sided with Cody Rhodes at the start of WWE Raw in what many assumed would be the main event match against Roman Reigns. However, that match never even started. Before the match could get underway, though, things fell apart. Cody Rhodes was ready to face Reigns but was not prepared when Lesnar suddenly hit him with the F5. This was followed by another as the beatdown continued. He threw Rhodes out and beat him up there, destroying him in the ringside area. He even put him through the commentary table with another F5. He then brought him back to the ring and left him lying as he walked up the ramp. Unfortunately, Lesnar was not done and came back to destroy him even further. He eventually walked away, letting WWE officials and medical personnel treat Rhodes. However, just as the personnel started to treat him, Brock Lesnar then turned back yet again, throwing his gloves off as he was about to rush to the WWE ring. He then got a signal from an official and stayed away, realizing that the time for the show had run out. Instead, he cursed into the camera and flipped off the camera, and then quickly turned it towards Cody Rhodes. It was clear that the Beast Incarnate was going to return to the ring yet again, but due to the time coming to an end, instead, the show ended with him cursing and upset with the botch. It remains to be seen what was the main reason behind Lesnar's brutal attack on Rhodes and how the latter will respond to the attack. What did you think of the ending to WWE Raw with Brock Lesnar? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Real reason why Brock Lesnar destroyed Cody Rhodes on WWE Raw. Brock Lesnar has turned heel once again on WWE Raw, using Cody Rhodes' popularity as leverage. The Beast Incarnate returned to action on the red brand, but what transpired left the WWE Universe stunned. Following last night's title defense, Roman Reigns demanded an acknowledgement from the crowd but was interrupted by Cody Rhodes' entry. Rhodes demanded a rematch after the controversial finish at WrestleMania 39, but Paul Heyman stopped him in his tracks. The Weissman claimed that he needed to beat Solo Sikoa and Reigns in a tag team match to get a rematch for the title. Brock Lesnar showed up and shook hands with Rhodes, agreeing to be his tag team partner. However, the Beast Incarnate turned his back on the American Nightmare and attacked him with multiple F5s during the main event of tonight's WWE Raw. Why did Brock Lesnar turn heel by betraying Cody Rhodes on WWE Raw? A potential answer could be that his cowboy character was lacking direction. In his babyface run, he put over Bobby Lashley and Omos but is now devoid of opponents. Attacking Cody was the right option as it paused his rivalry with Roman Reigns, who is closing in on 1,000 days as champion. A feud with the Beast will once again give Cody Rhodes a major obstacle on his road to facing the head of the table. He needs to redeem himself after the Mania loss, and the best way to do so is by pulverizing Reigns' biggest challenger last year. Triple H did mention that Rhodes' struggle journey will develop him as a tough competitor. The seeds have already been sown for a heated feud on the road to Backlash on May 6th. The Beast's attack prompted medical officials to come to Cody's rescue while Brock left the scene hurling profanities to the American Nightmare. Brock Lesnar hasn't revealed why he wrecked the American Nightmare. Usually, such beatdowns by the former world champion result in drawn-out feuds. Backlash is a suitable time to book their showdown, but WWE may stretch their rivalry to SummerSlam with a #1 contender spot for the undisputed title on the line. Now that Cody Rhodes is preoccupied with Brock Lesnar, who will step up to Roman Reigns next? We will find out soon.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me